55 years after Nigeria gained political independence from Britain, it continues to play a lead role in Africa's politics and diplomacy. Nigeria's reputation as a giant of Africa was clear in the country's stance on issues and its role in conflict resolution. The country has been in the front line for the realization of freedom and total fundamental liberties in every African country, especially the southern region. The civil war in Angola was a platform for Nigeria to test its strength as a giant of Africa. It worked with the Organization of African Unity to achieve a negotiated reconciliation of the warring factions in Angola. Nigeria also flexed its diplomatic muscles against the apartheid regime in South Africa, as the Murtala Mohammed and Obasanjo regime led the boycott of the 1978 Commonwealth Games and protests against New Zealand's dealings with the minority white government. Again, Nigeria rallied support for another boycott of the Commonwealth Games in 1986 due to the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's attitude towards South Africa. Nigeria risked all to set South Africa free. Eventually, the world paid attention to the sufferings of the black majority in South Africa, and apartheid was abolished. Nigeria was instrumental in the formation of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the Economic Community of West African States Monitoring Group, ECOMOG. ECOMOG was predominantly a Nigerian peacekeeping force. In 1997, during the Sierra Leone Civil War, the Nigerian armed forces swooped on Freetown, capital of the country, following a 9-day offensive and toppled the military junta that seized power in the West African state. Nigeria's military might was reputed to be second to none in the sub-region, and it was put to use on peacekeeping operations. During Liberia's brutal civil war in 1990, ECOMOG soldiers successfully turned back the rebels when already within 1 mile of the State House and pushed them out of Monrovia. In the past decade, Nigeria's peacekeeping effort was not just through the barrel of the gun. The country successfully talked coup leaders into relinquishing power and restoring democracy. Former President of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, led a high-powered delegation to Mali to negotiate a peace deal that led to a successful presidential election. The unending conflict in South Sudan did not go unnoticed. Nigeria has also been involved in pressuring the president and the rebel leader to end hostilities and allow peace to reign. When the deadly Ebola virus ravaged West Africa, Nigeria was the first to frontally tackle the dreaded disease. Later, Nigeria exported its know-how on fighting Ebola to other countries still grappling with the deadly scourge. Today, the region is Ebola-free. The recent Burkina Faso coup re-emphasized Nigeria's position in the front line of Africa's diplomacy. President Muhammadu Buhari convened an emergency meeting of ECOWAS leaders in Abuja, and it was followed by a trip to Burkina Faso. The country's intervention was successful, and Burkina Faso returned to the path of democracy. Some call Nigeria the giant of Africa. Others simply call her Big Brother Africa. The country also leads a joint task force to stop the Boko Haram insurgency. There is also the drive to promote economic cooperation through the Lake Chad Basin Development Commission, and Nigeria still bears the responsibility. 1st October 2015, Nigeria turns 55, and there are no signs of this African giant standing in Africa being diminished.